everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Krista here doing the weekly reading for the sign of Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. We are going to do a focus this week on loving the self. You'll know from last week we were looking at hidden strengths, and then for several weeks before that at healing as intentional general readings here. So yeah, this week with a focus on loving the self. I came up with that after a little bit of contemplation about how to proceed this week. And I apologize for all of the construction work that you're going to hear in the background this week, but it will be over next week. And I was unable to upload on time because of the weather situation here and electricity and internet cutouts. So forgive me for uploading a little bit late, but thank you so much for being with me today. So this is for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the week of October 31st through to November 7th. We're using the Wisdom of the Oracle for your main spread, and as always drawing from the other decks, being the Healing with the Angels Oracle and the Medicine cards. So whatever is going on in your life that's most prominent to you is what I hope you might find most helpful and healing about this reading today. So what does Aquarius need to know about loving the self this week? All right, just from first glance, Aquarius, I can tell that there's probably some type of awakening happening here. Again, whatever's most prominent in your life, whether that's a spiritual matter, environmental, relational, economic, study, whatever you're thinking of or pops into your mind when we're talking about a general reading and we're talking about awakenings this week, that's what I'm going to suggest is really going on here for you. A real sense of calm could be introduced to you, or you could have gone through recently or will be this week going through a real sense of calm. Not just everything's happening calmly, or it's a calm, problem-free week. I don't think that that's necessarily what's going on. I think more so a sense of an inward and projected sense of calm, which is a real sense of personal power this week. So that differentiates it from a sense of everything's just going very smoothly and it's a very nice, easygoing week. And that could be occurring as well. But regardless, no matter what is occurring this week for you, you'll be addressing it through a sense of inward calm and an inward self-knowledge. There could even be something akin to a gnosis here, Gnosis, which is a real experiential understanding of the world around you in a way that you couldn't have read in a book or you couldn't have been taught. And if that's the case, that's a beautiful way to go about behaving in the world, because an experience is something that no one can give you and you just can't buy. And again, no one can sort of talk you into or out of it. You have to feel it. You have to know it for yourself. So that could very well be a large part of your week, and a real, like I said, a real sense of calm here. And ultimately a real sense of knowing exactly who you are in any situation, okay? In the most prominent situation for you this week, just a real shedding of the masks, a real doing away with what people expect from you, right? And then replacing that with a real level of, regardless of what you expected from me, this is who I am, and this is my truth, and this is what I have to tell you about my experience. And I really believe that it'll come, like whatever you're saying, even if it's difficult for someone else to hear right now or unusual for someone else to hear right now, it will be coming from such a place of personal power and calm that whatever their attitude about what you're saying is, it will almost take a back seat to the fact that they just respect what you're saying. They don't even have to agree with you, okay? You're not even looking for this. You're not even looking for, a external validation, which is a beautiful, very, very peaceful place to begin with, frankly, no matter what the sign, no matter who you are. If you come from a place of just never worrying about what if people like you, for example. I'm not saying you have to go around and be a psychopath and then you don't care what people think of you. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you already come from a place of peace and self-knowledge and calm and even self-love, okay, like and appreciation, newfound or recent appreciation for yourself. There's a sense of, sort of take it or leave it. This is who I am. If you like me this way, cool. If you don't, you're free to go. And that's the sort of attitude I see going on here. Really nothing negative and something just uplifting, new, very pleasant, very joyful, very likely for you this week, Aquarius. So let's look at why I would be saying this about your spread this week. Here we have Truth Be Told representing you in the spread, and as you can see, there's some major symbologies here. Of course, we have the hearts. There's several dozen hearts here, which always represents love. It also represents passion. There could be this sense of, and yes, it could be romantic, of course. If romance is a huge part of your life this week, and perhaps you're getting to new levels in your romance or new stages or phases in your romance, absolutely. However, if it isn't an element of romance, this is definitely an issue of self-love for you. And of course, what was the intention of the reading? Loving the self, right? How to love the self more, how to begin doing this. And you've come to this already by yourself. And generally this occurs, especially if this is a gnosis, right? Experiential understanding of yourself and your place in the world. This has probably come about through a test. For you, this is just the nature of the beast, Aquarius. Gnosis has to come through a challenge. It has to come through sometimes even what some spiritualists even consider a shamanistic death. Something has to be shed completely, but willingly. You have to let go, and you have to say goodbye, and you have to willingly approach the future for yourself. And this has been accomplished here. So this is a real state of being, right? This is unshakable. This is now your self-core. You've grown out of something else is very passionate for you and full of love for yourself. Remember, when I'm talking about loving the self, not talking about the ego. The ego is the opposite, rather, frankly, of loving the self. The ego is about external validation. Do you like me? What can I do to make you like me? That type of thing. I'm not saying one's right, one's wrong. I'm just saying there are different types of self-love, and this is very definitely situated around loving the self, the core self, your flaws, your fears that you're very likely shedding, or in process of shedding, or are aware of what needs to be shed. Here again, this is a process of self-love. It's an awakening, and it's a way of not only challenging yourself, but in order to challenge yourself, you have to believe that you can do it in the first place. And this is a sense of self-respect and self-esteem. So really just extremely high vibrational energy here for you. And of course, the other two major icons in this image is the golden mask and this really beautiful wide-eyed barn owl. We're looking at wisdom. First of all, we're looking at things learned by probably the esoteric arts, very likely. We're looking at spirituality. As you know, I'm not religious, so there probably are spiritual bents for you. Even if you're not calling it God or calling it what someone else might consider spiritual, this could be a spiritual, or the outcome of your experience could feel to you to be a spiritual experience. It could be that, overwhelming and life-altering for you. And here with the golden mask and, of course, wisdom on top of a mask that's been taken off here. This is essentially saying, external validation needed. You're willing to wear this mask. What do people want from me? What can I get from people if I act like this, etc. And it could have even been that you were doing that subconsciously. And it could be that you were doing that consciously, but because you thought there was no other way to get what you needed. And that time is over for you here, Aquarius. So really beautiful state of mind here for you, and an extraordinary awakening for you. Not surprised here to see peace as the influence to your current position. Here we have some more major symbolism here with the egg and the dove with the olive branch in her mouth, and the second card here to contain these glorious hearts. Again, this could be passion, absolutely. Even outside of a romantic relationship, you could have a new passion, a newfound passion for something that you've put on the back burner or you didn't think was exciting to you. A new even passion for yourself because of a new understanding. So really glorious week ahead for you with regard to, a sense of self and newfound mental, emotional, and psychological and spiritual stability for you, Aquarius. Just beautiful to see for you. And of course, one of the major symbols of the egg is something's gestating, something is ready to be born, and something is within you, right? This is all about you. Could you have been influenced by someone else? Absolutely. I mean, this is how we grow. We stand on the shoulders of giants. However, could someone have given this to you, or can you buy this sense of peace? Absolutely not. So really give yourself a lot of credit here if that's what's going on, that you've achieved a new state of consciousness, at least a higher state of consciousness for yourself, where you are able to proceed in your daily activities, by and large, through a projected state of peace, and with the understanding that truth is, I was about to spit out truth is God. God is truth. I mean, that there really is an element of, I do mean that. But let's just say you're uncomfortable with the term God, or you don't like that. There's a real state of, truth is king. Okay, that's another way to put that as well. And you're okay with it, and you make no bones about it. It's kind of like sorry, not sorry. Here with no place like home. In your probable outcome, this is absolutely feeling, again, with the peace. Look at how glorious. First of all, the colors, massive purple and mauve. We have purple is a royal and a very spiritual color. It's the mixing between the two major base colors, both the red and the purple, red and blue rather. And you're growing. This is actually a house growing on sort of a, that beanstalk type of mythology here. So whatever is within you, whatever home you have, whatever is in your heart and your mind is really growing and being uplifted. But look how comfortable this looks. It's so cozy. The light is on. It's a beautiful little home, and the light's coming from within. So you're really probably able to affect other people this week, Aquarius, in a very positive way as well. I would let them come to you rather than, you don't want to be evangelical about anything right now, but certainly if someone comes to you, I would feel very positive and very confident in going about talking about your experience here and how much you've been affected by this. And just tell your truth. This isn't about someone else believing you or following you or anything like that. And that alone will help people understand how sincere you are. Here with New Life as the general energy to the entire week, look at your second egg symbolism here. We do have stars as well. Stars, anything having to do with golden stars, as a golden moment is in your midst. You could even be just appreciating time more than you ever have, or be using your time differently than you ever have. And here, look, she's just spreading her wings, waking up out of what felt like a sleep, okay? And that could be exactly what things have been feeling like for you lately, that you've just come out of maybe some sort of deep sleep or some sort of denial about something here. And again, this is probably very significant to you in so far as it's definitely your experience, right? It's unique to you. It's not that you can't talk about it with other people that they won't understand, but it could be so exciting to you and refreshing and new and wondrous to you that I really do think you can impact other people very easily this week on a positive level. So don't hold yourself back. If people come to you, don't hold yourself back. Here we have children and intention. These jumped out together. So children, I always read one of two ways here. If there are children in your life, you're going to want to spend time with them. Innocence is a really nice way to remember how to go about the world as well, to go about your day, to go about your thinking process. Innocence is actually very undervalued. Unfortunately, it's beaten out of most of us by the time we're 5. There are reasons for that, right? If we had our innocence, if we were allowed to ask questions, if we were allowed to stand up for ourselves and the vulnerable, there wouldn't be as much violence. So it's considered not normal to be innocent anymore, right? Or if you are people, the machine, the society tends to abuse that. So what do? We get afraid to be vulnerable, we get afraid to be innocent, or even childlike, as opposed to childish. Childlike, this sense of wonder. So if that's what's going on and you do need to protect yourself, stay away from people who could abuse that innocence about you this week, but certainly don't dampen it. Just steer clear of someone who might be dampening that. On the other hand, if you have children in your own life, spend more time around them. That'll be very, very healing for you, and it'll remind you to love your inner child as well. Here with intention, we're looking again with the theme of loving the self. You really want to pay attention to what you're projecting out in the world. Don't let this go. Don't let this sense of peace and truth and honesty and self-knowledge go, or don't let anything dampen this sense of a new life or a new appreciation here. Your intentions are going to be changed quite, I was going to say drastically, but at least from a medium state of changes to a drastic state of change for you. I do see this because of your intention here. And like I said, you've made something has clicked in your mind. Something has switched for you, and it was through an experience. And you probably can't go back, and you don't want to, right? So your intentions are very, very different now. And it looks like it's coming with such a sense of peace that there's almost probably this why would you go back, or why would you, question it too much, especially if you're intuitively okay what's going on. If you don't have a lot of, intuitive problems with what's going on right now, or concerns with your personal development, keep going, right? Because it looks like it's in a very beautiful direction. Honestly, not surprised to see elk here. This is the self-esteem card. 100%. This whole thing is about self-esteem, raising your own vibration, right? Which ultimately raises global health and healing vibrations. So I appreciate that if that's the case for you. You've probably undergone a trial, no doubt in my mind. A shamanistic death is designed to be a trial, right? So congratulations for getting through that. It probably wasn't easy. But here you are on the other side of it, Aquarius, and you're bigger and better and stronger than you were before. What doesn't kill us makes us stronger. I do think that that's true, however morbid sometimes. You're just in a better place right now, and perhaps there is some ongoing healing or struggle that does need to occur over the next few weeks or months for you too. But you feel better than ever. You feel almost like challenge accepted. So I just see a beautiful week ahead for you. If you have a second, comment below. Let me know how this works out for you. And if you're not already, subscribe to my channel. It is free to do that, so you can do that today. And I just want to take a second to thank all of my subscribers up until this point. I did this just thinking that it could help someone, or this would reach someone, and just a few months ago. And I really want to appreciate everyone who encourages me to do this and believes in my work. I do this for you, and I love doing this for you, and I'll do it as long as I can. So thank you so much for being here with me today. I look forward to seeing you in next week's video. In the meantime, take beautiful care of yourself, Aquarius, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.